everyone, it's Shell from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. Today's day 13 in the 2023 Countdown to Christmas series, and the technique for today is shaker. And yes, I know I did a shaker for day 12. I did not plan this out very well. I didn't plan day 12 to be a shaker. So we're going to be using some Honeybee Stamps products from the Holiday Wreath collection. There's a stamp set, a stencil set, and a die set, and they all work really nicely with each other. First thing that I'm going to do is take a piece of white cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches, and we are going to stamp that wreath onto it. I'm using my Stamp Perfect from Hampton Arts and some, it is the Lawn Fawn Jet Black ink, I believe, yes. I went ahead and ran my hands over top of it because it helps to take the film off of it, but because this is a big stamp set, the Stamp Perfect is not the exact same, let's say, quality as a Misty because it was nowhere near that price. And I think I have some dead spots in it from using it a ton. So I'm going to have to go in, and what I did was I stamped it a couple times in black. It didn't stamp perfectly, but then I went over the little areas, added a little bit of ink, put some pressure on it, and did that all the way around, and I think it came out perfectly. I'm now going to be taking that center die and putting some washi tape on it, running it through my die cut machine and cutting out the center. Now we're going to go ahead and stencil this. And what I would say is, if you had to stamp it as many times as I did, I would not do this next step without heat setting it or letting it dry overnight. Some of my black smudged. Also, I was using Distress oxides, I believe. I don't think I used inks. I think I used oxides for this one. And I probably would use the inks. The oxides tend to dull the black a little bit too, so I think that didn't help either. It comes out fine in the end. I really like it. However, I think I would have used Distress inks, let it dry a little bit more, or use my heat gun to make it dry. So now we're going to be using pine needles to go ahead and do the leaves of the wreath. So this stencil set has 4 different stencils. It has the leaves, it has the flowers in this one. The third stencil is actually for the individual pieces. So there are extra pieces in the stamp set so that you can stamp, die cut, and stencil them if you wanted to pop them up or if you just wanted to use them separately than the wreath. So I love that. These layering stencils make things so easy to color in. They make card making really, really easy. I love that a lot of companies are doing this now. Okay, I'm going back in with some Rustic Wilderness to add a little bit of green dimension to the leaves. I probably should have done this one first and then pine needles, but it's fine. You can tell that there's 2 tones on it. So the second stencil is the one, you can see this one there. You can kind of see it. That's the one with the leaves. The third one is the individual leaves and flower pieces. The third one that I picked up is actually the florals for this. And I used Crackling Campfire. And then the 4th stencil is for the berries. So while you're watching me finish stenciling all of this, I thought I would talk to you guys a little bit about this series. So if you are new, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. This is, I think, my 5th or 6th year doing this. I really need to count because I keep saying that in all my videos, and I think I keep saying that too. But I've been doing this for a while. Last year, I asked my friend Marie to guest on one day, and then this year I asked her to do the series with me because we were talking about, growing our channels and ways that we could. So I asked her to do this with me. Very excited that she said yes. So you are going to find the link to the intro video for this series in the description box, as well as a link to Marie's channel. Marie and I are very different creators, so we've come up with 25 different themes, techniques, stamp sets, etc. And you're going to be able to see that same subject done in 2 completely different styles. So can't wait to see what she makes. She is amazing at shakers. I'm not really good at it, which is kind of funny that I did 2 shakers in a row, but she is really, really good at it, and I can't wait to see what she makes. So make sure you check out her channel. There are prizes that she and I are giving. I did reach 700, so there will be an extra giveaway. If I reach 750 by the end of this series, I will do an additional giveaway to the ones that I already was going to do. So that's all the information. If you need more, check out the info video in the link below. Now, I decided, and this is one of my bad decisions, and this happens every once in a while, well, probably more than once in a while, but I made a bad decision. I kind of wanted it to make it look like the sides were cut out as well. I shouldn't have done that. I should have left well enough alone. But sometimes you just think an idea is going to work, and then it doesn't. So now I was trying to figure out what to do behind this. Should I put some pattern paper on there? So I tried that. That one was too busy. If I had kept this a full piece, I would have really liked the striped pattern paper behind it, but I couldn't figure out how to make that work, and just didn't love the way that it was looking. So I'm going to try one more piece of pattern paper, and then we're going to completely switch it up. We are going to be using tulle and a black card base. So I had this red tulle from you'll laugh. So the twins are 9. For their very first Halloween, it was their second Halloween, because their first Halloween, they had barely just gotten home from the hospital, from the NICU. So their first real Halloween that we went out to trick-or-treating, they were Elmo and Cookie Monster, and this red is left over from, I believe Madeline was Elmo. Yeah, Madeline was Elmo, Brooklyn was Cookie Monster. So this is left over from Madeline's tulle skirt that my sister and I made all those years ago. So I'm trying to use it. I decided it didn't look good on the white card base, so I'm going to switch to black. We're going to use some foam tape to go around the edges. There were a lot of cutouts in this, so I tried to get as close to the edges as I could. Tried to make as straight of lines as I could, but there were times where I had to kind of curve it a little bit. It's fine. Everything stayed in there. I'm going to put the first layer down and then peel the paper off and then put the second layer on. I kept the width of the foam tape for this one because it fit nicely behind the window for this. If there was less real estate around the frame opening, I would have cut it down and then just doubled up on foam tape. But I just thought, go ahead, do the whole entire piece here. So doing 2 layers, and then there was a little bit extra, and I did decide to cut the width of that down and then put that on the sides, and you'll see that in a second. So I do go ahead, and to finish off the card, I do 2 layers on those as well. And we're going to be picking out the embellishments for the shaker part of it. So the first 2 sets that I'm going to use are unfortunately no longer available. They are from a company that went out of business called Sparkle Blends. First one is Old Saint Nick. So if you have those, this one is a really cute blend. I took the Santas out of that, but they had some really nice reds and silvers and whites in there. And then I believe this one is, second one is Holly Jolly, and I wanted the holly leaves for some green. I'm also going to be using 2 sets from This Calls for Confetti, which I used in the last video, and it's the red and I think this one is just called, the first one was called Clear, but the red is the second one. So we have a lot of red behind this, but I wanted a couple pops of green with those leaves. So I'm going to push them to the center and then put the frame over top of it, sealing it down, making sure that it has a nice and tight seal. The only thing that I would have done differently was I would have gone around the edges with my anti-static powder tool, because there are some pieces where there's some tape that might have gotten out into, so some of the stuff might be sticking to the tape. So I would have gone around the edges with the anti-static powder tool. But that's the only other thing I would have done differently. One for the shaker part of this card. So I'm taking a Spectrum Noir sparkle pen and going around all of the flowers on this. I wanted to give it a little bit of shine. My sparkle pen probably doesn't have very much sparkle left in it. I had to keep squeezing it to try to get more sparkle out, but it ends up looking good. I was going to put the season's greeting sentiment on the front. I decided against it. I will stamp it on the inside later on. And here is what it looks like shaking. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below, and I will see you again real soon for another video. Bye!